Make the ground shake.
So, hey guys, what is going on? My name is Gummy, and today we are here with another statue tutorial. But today we are doing Jacksepticeye, someone who has been requested for probably the longest time I can think of. I've never really got around to him purely because he doesn't really have a Minecraft skin. And I mean, you could speculate on what his skin is because he does have a character and he has done Minecraft videos. However, he censored his name, I don't know why, but I'm presuming for privacy reasons, in all the videos. So you can't see what his Minecraft IGN is, which means you can't actually find his skin. And when you Google for his skin, it just comes up with a bunch of fan-made skins. So rather than going down that route, I thought I'd make my own. I thought I'd base the statue on what I feel is kind of like if you got him and turned it into a Minecraft skin, what it would look like. So this is based on what he looks like as a person, rather than necessarily what his Minecraft character looks like. Now this is open for quite a lot of speculation and quite a lot of discussion in the sense that how can you make it look exactly like him, because you can't. And I know a lot of you guys out there aren't going to like every single bit about it, so that's why I'm going to discuss this now and suggest that if there is a part you don't like about it and there's a part you think you can do better, please feel free to do it. And if you want to show me it, then feel free to tweet it at me at GummyBearGames, and that would be great. I love seeing you guys improve the design and improve the statue and show me it. What I don't want to see is a ton of comments, like stupid comments, telling me that it looks bad for this reason. If you don't have a solution, don't suggest there's a problem. With that little rant out the way, I do want to apologise if there is any background noise. That is my fan, and that's because it's like a sauna in my room right now. And the reason behind that, for some reason, the British weather has gone crazy this summer, and it's like 33 degrees right now, and if I didn't have the fan underneath my desk, I put it underneath my desk so it's not quite as loud. If I didn't have it underneath my desk, I probably would have melted into my chair by now, so that's why that's there. And again, it's something I don't really want because it does make a bit of noise, but it's not as noticeable as it could be. So I've just put it there for today, and if it is bad, then I'll just have to melt in future. But anyways, this is going to be a long tutorial, so get comfy. Hopefully your room isn't like a sauna. If you're living in a place right now where it's like a snow room, then I am very envious of you. But the blocks you're going to need is light grey wool, white wool, light blue wool, red stained clay, white stained clay, pink stained clay, block of quartz, cyan wool, spruce planks, dark oak planks, light grey stained clay, black wool, light blue stained clay, lime wool, lime stained clay, cyan stained clay, and also grey wool. So if you want to pause the video here and grab them blocks into your inventory, that would be great. Also, to bear in mind, if you are in Xbox or PlayStation versions of Minecraft, then feel free to grab a map. It will help you tremendously. If you're on PC, then feel free to press F3. I'm not sure personally what the equivalent is on mobile, but I'm sure it can be found on there. You want to find basically out your coordinates, as you can see here. Mine, if I come to the floor level, is Y5. Yours may be different, so do factor that in. So anyways, what we're going to do is find a nice open area where you want to build your statue, and we're going to start building the legs. So I've got quite a lot of choice. I'm going to build it right here. So we're going to place one light grey wool, two white, two light grey, two white, one light grey. That's the first layer. There's 12 layers in total for the legs, each layer being 8 wide. As you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The second layer is one light blue, two white, two light blue, two white, one light blue. So it's the exact same as the first layer, just light blue instead of light grey. The third layer is one blue, two light blue, two blue, two light blue, one blue. That's the third layer. And then the remaining 9 layers is simply 8 blue wool on each layer. So all we're going to do is on the left side build up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then we're just going to build across up to the same height, and you'll have a 12 by 8 rectangle. So again, just to go over that, that's 3 layers of the shoes, and then the remaining 9 layers is of his trousers, which in this case are jeans. Or this is what the blue represents as jeans, because a lot of the images I've seen of him, he's of course wearing jeans, because a lot of people I guess wear jeans. I wear jeans. But anyways, you can see here, it's 12 tall, 8 wide, and again to prove that to you, you can see here my Y coordinate, if I floor level, is Y5. Again, yours may be different, so do consider that. If I come up to the top, it is Y17, which is of course 12 blocks on top of 5. So, 12 tall, 8 wide. This is what it looks like. If you want to pause, this would be a good opportunity to do so. And this actually raises the point that I'm going to say now, is if you do feel like you need to pause at any point in the video, please feel free to do so. Again, I always want you guys to take your time and get it right first time, rather than having to come back and do it like 20 more times, because that's no fun for anyone. But anyways, what we're going to do is start working on the body. So, for the body, we're going to start off by placing one red wool on either side, one on left, one on right. On the left side, we're going to go 4 blocks to the left using white stained clay. 1, 2, 3, 4. On the right side, we're going to do the exact same. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, using white stained clay off to the right side. So, again, this is the 13th layer. 4 blocks to the left, 4 blocks to the right. We're not going to do any more than that for now. We'll come back to that later on when we're working on the arms. For now, we're going to continue with the body. So for the body, for his t-shirt, I've decided to make his t-shirt red. Now, for the red t-shirt, you're going to need red wool and red stained clay. If you want to make it a different color, if you want to make it, say, green, then use lime stained clay instead of red stained clay, and lime wool instead of the red wool. Same applies for any other color. You can make it any color pretty much. Probably not cyan, for the element that cyan wool is bluish and the stained clay is a very grayish color, so it wouldn't quite work as well. But the majority of stained clay combos work. Light blue stained clay, light blue wool, that could work. So it's something you can definitely play around with if you want. So, when I say wool, if you're not using red wool and you're using a different colour, then replace it with that one. So if you want to use light blue wool, when I say red wool, use light blue wool. When I say red stained clay, use light blue stained clay. But again, I recommend you use red because it blends better. And also, I've seen quite a lot of videos when he's in a red jumper, so it makes a bit of sense. Plus, it will have a nice contrast with the logo we're going to put on his back. So anyways, with that, all those little mini disclaimers out the way, the first layer is 2 red wool, so we got the first one, then a second, 1 stained clay, 2 wool, 1 stained clay, 1 wool. The second layer is 1 wool, 6 stained clay, 1 wool. So currently it looks like this. The next layer is 3 clay, 1 wool, 1 clay, 2 wool, 1 clay. The next layer is 1 clay, 1 wool, 1 clay, 2 wool, 3 clay. The next layer is 1 clay, 3 red wool, 2 clay, 2 red wool. Again, if you want to pause, feel free to do so. The next layer is 2 clay, 1 wool, 2 clay, 2 wool, 1 clay. That's currently 6 blocks tall, so we're halfway there. The next layer is 1 clay, wool, 4 clay. The next layer is 1 wool, 1 clay, 1 wool, 2 clay, 3 wool. Again, another opportunity if you want to pause. The next layer is 4 clay, 1 wool, 2 clay, 1 wool. The next layer is 1 clay, 1 wool, 1 clay, 2 white wool, 1 clay, wool, clay. The second to last layer is 2 clay, 1 white, 2 white stained clay, 1 white wool, 2 red stained clay, and the last but not least layer, which is the 12th layer, is 1 red wool, 1 white wool, 4 white stained clay, 1 white wool, and 1 red wool. So once you've done that, it will look something like this. Now I know just pausing it here will be a lot more value to some of you than my explanation, and that's understandable because it's difficult to discuss something like this when it's just so random and such a random pattern. But the reason why it's so random is because it looks super plain if you don't add the two-tone variation. It just looks plain and boring, so that's why I messed around a bit and made it like so wacky and I guess detailed. But anyways, with that said, this is what it looks like so far. Again, if you want to pause, feel free to do so. So next what we're going to do is start working on the arms. So we're going to start working on the left arm first. We're going to come to the 13th layer, 4 blocks to the left. If you haven't already placed it, it should look like this, again on the 13th layer. What we're now going to do is on top of this, again the arms are 12 tall, 4 wide, and this is 12 tall, 8 wide. The arm, we got the first layer. On top of this, we're going to place 6 layers of white stained clay. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So currently, it should be 7 blocks tall, 4 blocks wide. On top of this, we're going to place 4 pink stained clay. So right now, it's 8 tall. And then from left to right, the final 4 layers go red stained clay, red wool, 2 stained clay. The next layer is 1 wool, 2 stained clay, 1 wool. Second to last layer is 1 clay, wool, clay, wool. And the final layer is 4 clay. Once you've done that, it will look like this. Again, that is 12 tall and 4 blocks wide. And that consists of 7 blocks of white, or 7 layers, should I say, of white stained clay, a layer of pink stained clay, and then 4 layers of the reds. The other side is the exact same, so if you want to go ahead and build that yourselves and just mirror it over, then you're more than welcome to do so. However, I'm going to talk you through it nevertheless, so if you are going to do that, feel free to skip ahead. So moving on to the right side now, again we're going to come to the 13th layer of the build. We go 4 blocks out to the right if you haven't already done that. And on top of this we're going to place 6 layers of 4 white stained clay. So that's 3, 4, 5, and 6. That is the 6th layer and the 7th in total. So that's 7 in total, 4 wide. On top of that we're going to do a layer of 4 pink stained clay. And yet again we're going to go left to right, layer by layer, for the final 4 layers. So the next layer, which is the 9th layer, we're going to place 2 red stained clay, 1 wool, 1 clay. The next layer, the 10th layer, we're going to place 1 wool, 2 clay, 1 wool. The next layer is 1 wool, clay, wool, clay. And the final layer is 4 clay. So once you've done that, as you can see, it is the exact same. What you could do, if you really wanted to add a bit of detail, is you could get a light grey stained clay and put it in the center block on the 2nd layer of each hand, so it kind of looks like he's like not clenching his fist in an angry way, but it looks like he's like holding his hand out in a shape rather than just, I don't know, it just adds a bit of detail to it, I guess you could say. But again, that's optional. If you want to play around with that, then feel free to do so. But anyways, with that said, this is what it should be looking like so far. That is the front of the statue complete. In total, it is 24 tall and 16 wide, 8 wide if you are not including the arms. So, again, the legs are 12 tall, 8 wide, and I'm going to give you guys opportunity to pause right now if you want. The body is 12 tall, 8 wide, and each arm is 12 tall, 4 wide. So what we're going to do now, as you can see, it's starting to look super nice. What we're going to do is start working on the sides and making it 3D. So we're going to come around to the bottom left corner where we've got this light grey wall here, and we're going to expand it 1, 2, 3 blocks backwards, and it will make a backwards L shape like so. So the side of the leg is going to be 12 tall and 4 wide, however this row here is the 4th block, so we're only placing 3 blocks on each row. So again, the first layer is 3 light grey wool, the second layer is 3 light blue wool, and then the next 10 layers is simply 3 blue wool. It's as easy as that, and you just build up and it will come up to the same height as the front of the legs. Again, to go over that, it's 12 tall, 4 wide, first layer is light grey, second layer is light blue, and then the remaining 10 layers is blue wool. Now the same applies for the right side, so we're going to do that now. We go around to the right side, expand 1, 2, 3 backwards using light grey wool. On top of that, 3 light blue, and then 10 layers of blue. That's probably the easiest part of the tutorial, and it still looks kind of cool. So that's what it looks like from the right angle. Again, 12 tall, 4 wide, and then from the left angle, again, 12 tall, 4 wide. So, nice and easy. For the side of the arms, this is a bit more complicated. We're going to come around to the rear of the statue and come to the bottom of each arm, this white stained clay here, and expand 1, 2, 3 all the way back, all the way across. And if you've done it correctly, if you come below, you'll notice it is a 4x4 square, as you can see here. And we're going to do the exact same on this side. We go 1, 2, 3 all the way across, and it will make a 4x4 square down below. Come around to the side of this, as you can see, once you've done the base plate of the arm, it will give you like a backwards L shape again, like we had with the leg. As you can see here, this is the 4th block of each layer, so we're only placing 3 blocks in each row. So, what we're going to do, we got the first layer here, which is white stained clay. On top of this, we're going to place 6 more layers of 3 white stained clay. That will bring you up to the same height as the white stained clay on the original side. The next row, we're going to place 3 pink stained clay. That is the 8th row. Now for the 9th to 12th row, again this is going to be our red stained clay and our red wool. Starting on the left side, we're going to place 1 stained clay, 2 wool. The next layer is 1 stained clay, 1 wool, 1 stained clay. The next layer is 3 stained clay, and then the final layer is 1 stained clay, 1 wool, and 1 stained clay. So just to go over everything one last time. The left side of the arm is 7 layers of 4 white stained clay, a layer of 4 pink stained clay, and then 4 layers of red stained clay and red wool. The other arm, exact same again, so it's really simple. We just come around to the right side. The first 7 layers is white stained clay, so on top of this we're going to place 6 layers of white stained clay, and it's nice and simple like that. The next layer is 3 pink stained clay, and then the final 4 layers, we're going to start off again left to right, is 2 red wool, 1 stained clay, 1 stained clay, red wool, stained clay. The next layer is 3 stained clay, and then the final layer is 1 clay, 1 wool, 1 clay. And that is what it looks like. It's as simple as that, 12x4, and that is the right side of the arm. So, it's looking really nice. We're making nice progress. However, if you come around to the rear side, you notice a slight issue, and that's that there's a big gap. We're going to start on the rear of the legs first, and then we'll work our way up. So we come down to the legs. As you can notice, the rear of the legs are going to be 12 tall, 8 wide. However, row here plus row here equals 2. So 8 minus 2 equals 6. That is some top level maths from me right there. But it means we're only placing 6 blocks on each row, but there will still be 12 rows. So the first row is 6 light grey wool. It will just match up either side. The second layer is 6 light blue wool, and then the final 10 layers, I say final, the remaining 10 layers is simply 6 blue wool. So we just build up 10 blocks on the 6 rows, and it will bring you up to the same height as the top of the side of the legs. That's always a good marker to know you've done it correctly. It will come up to the same height as you can see right here. So once you've done that, it will look like this. Again, that is 12 tall, 8 wide, and that consists of 1 layer of light grey wool, 1 layer of light blue wool, and 10 layers of blue wool. So this is where things get a tad more complicated again. So working on the rear of the body, we're going to be adding a Jacksepticeye logo. Now again, this is optional. If you want to stick to 100% Jacksepticeye, like as in his daily, like what he looks like, then this logo might not be the best addition. However, I would argue that without the logo, and probably without the green hair, it wouldn't be 100% recognizable. And that's not a bad thing, but it's because there's not anything that really sticks out and identifies it. So this is why the logo's here. It really confirms who it is. And I mean, the green hair kind of does give it away, but to anyone who isn't a huge Jacksepticeye fan, it might be a bit confusing. So that's why we're going to add the logo. And I think generally it's just a nice touch. I was considering adding it on the front side, but I thought it'd look a tad too clustered. So anyways, with that said, again, if you want to add it, you can add it. If you don't, don't. Again, we're going to go up layer by layer, left to right. There's 12 layers in total, so let's begin. So the first layer, starting from left to right, is 1 stained clay, 1 wool, 3 stained clay, 2 wool, 1 clay. The second layer, and this is where we're going to need to get our greens onto the hotbar, is 1 wool, 1 stained clay, 2 lime stained clay, 2 red stained clay, 1 red wool, and 1 red stained clay. The next layer is 1 red stained clay, 1 lime stained clay, 1 red stained clay, 1 red wool, 1 lime stained clay, so it should be like the underpart of a smiley face, 2 red stained clay, 1 red wool. So that is the third layer. The fourth layer is 1 red stained clay, 2 lime stained clay, 1 red stained clay, 1 red wool, 1 stained clay, 1 wool, 1 stained clay. It's currently 4 blocks tall. The fifth layer is 1 red wool, 1 lime stained clay, 1 2 3 4 should I say lime wool, 1 red stained clay, 1 red wool. Now for the logo, in fact we'll do this first because it's pretty easier if we do. On top of this lime wool here, we're going to go up 1 and to the left 1. And we do the exact same on the right side. We go up 1 to the right 1. From here, we're going to go up 1, 2, 3. We then go to right 1, up 1. Same applies on the right side. We go up 1, 2, 3. Go to left 1, up 1, and then to left twice. And it will link up like so. Now, if you've done it correctly, it should finish 2 blocks from the top of the same height as the front. And it will give you a shape that looks like this. Now, in the middle, this is where we're going to be adding a bit of detail. You're going to start off with your blue wool. In the bottom left corner, we're going to place 1 blue wool, and we go up diagonal and place 1 there. In the top right corner, we're going to place a light blue wool, go down diagonal, place 1 there, and then underneath it, place 1 right there. For this part, we're going to need our light blue stained clay. So basically, we got this 2x2 in the middle, and then we got 3 blocks surrounding it. In the 3 blocks surrounding it, we're going to place 1 light blue stained clay. So it's 3 in total, and it will give you something that looks like this. Then what we're going to do is grab our black wool, and in the bottom left, bottom right, and top left, we're going to place 3 black wool. And in the final block, we're going to place 1 white wool to give like the glistening effect of the eye. That is what the logo will look like. For the surrounding area, then what we're going to do is on the left side, we're going to build 1, 2, so 1 red wool, and then 1, 2, 3 red stained clay. Again, that's 1 red wool, 3 red stained clay, and then on the right side, we place again 1 red wool and 1, 2, 3 red stained clay. So on both sides, 1 red wool, 1, 2, 3 red stained clay. For the 2 blocks on the left side of it, we're going to place 1 stained clay, 1 red wool, and then on the right side we place 1 red wool, 1 stained clay. The 11th layer, second to last, we're going to place 1 red stained clay, 3 red wool, 3 clay, 1 red wool. And then for the final layer, we're going to place 1 wool, 3 clay, wool, clay, 2 wool. Once you've done that, it will look like this. Now, it's hard to distinguish what it looks like at this point because you can see the background of the front of the build. So what we're going to do is we're going to build the back of the arms, and that'll give you another opportunity to pause, and it's probably going to be a lot more beneficial. So what we're going to do is start on this arm here, so the back of the right arm, in our case the left arm. We've got, like we have on the other side, 7 layers of white stained clay to kick it all off. So we've got the bottom layer, and then we've got 6 layers on top of it. Now again, because this row is already here, we're only placing 3 blocks on each row, so we're going to place 6 layers of 3 white stained clay, and that'll bring us up to the same height. On top of that, we're going to do 3 pink stained clay, and then we're going to need our red wool. So let me get that back on my hotbar. So the first layer is simply 2 red stained clay, 1 wool. The next layer is 1 wool, 2 clay. The next layer is 1 clay, 1 wool, 1 clay, and the final layer is the exact same, clay, wool, clay. Once you've done that, it will look like this. Again, that is 7 layers of white stained clay, 1 layer of pink stained clay, and then 4 layers of wool and clay. The other arm now, exact same, again, just mirrored, so very, very simple. We're going to have our first layers, our 7 layers of white stained clay, so this one, plus 6, so that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Useful tip, it will always come up to the same point as this one here on the sides. If it doesn't, then something's gone wrong. A layer of 3 pink stained clay, and then we're going to go with our red wool and our red stained clay. We go 1 red wool, 2 clay, The next layer is 2 clay, 1 wool. Next layer is clay, wool, clay, and same for the final one, clay, wool, clay. Now this is where it's going to be a lot more useful. So we'll get rid of our arm real quick. This is the back of the body, again 12 by 8, and the back of each arm being 12 by 4. So now we've got that, we can start working on the shoulders. So for the shoulders, we're going to come to the front side. As you can see here, I'm already at the front because we had a nice little jump cut purely because of Elgato like stopping recording and deleting 22 minutes of footage. That kind of sucks. But anyways, let's continue. So come to the front side and come to the left shoulder right here. We're going to go to the top left corner. It says red stained clay, and to the right of it, this one here. We're then going to go forwards, right, forwards, right. Now that will fill in a 4x4 square minus the 2 blocks, one here and one here. Once you've done that, you'll have a complete 4x4 square. Now we're going to replicate this on the other side. So we come over to the right side, we go to the far right corner and to the block next to it, and we go forwards, left, and then again in the remaining 2 blocks we place 1 red wool on either one, and then that is the right shoulder complete. Now what we go ahead and do is fill this whole area in here, any block you want. It doesn't really matter, you're not going to be able to see it anyways, but it's just cool to fill it all in and complete it. I'm going to use red stained clay, again it really doesn't matter, and that's what it looks like. So once you've done that, that is the body of the statue complete. Now I'm going to get rid of my arm, chop it off real quick, and I'm going to have a little spin around one last time of the body before we move on to the head. So essentially what I'm going to do is I'm going to go right up close to a part of the statue, for example like this, and say this is the legs. It is 12 tall and 8 wide, and if you want to pause, feel free to do so right now. But I'm not going to say that every time because it will drive you mental after like 5 times me saying pause here, pause here, pause here. So this is where you guys get to use, I guess, your own initiative and pause the video whenever you feel it you want to. And I'm not going to say over and over again because, again, that will drive people absolutely insane, and I don't want to do that ideally. So, let's begin. So this is the front of legs. It is 12 tall and 8 wide. This is the front of the body. Again, 12 tall, 8 wide. And the front of each arm, 12 tall, 4 wide. Coming around to the left side, we have the left side of the leg, 12 tall, 4 wide. And the left side of the arm, 12 tall, 4 wide. Heading round to the right side now, we have the right side of the leg, 12 tall, 4 wide. And the right side of the arm, you guessed it, 12 tall, 4 wide. Coming around to the rear side of the statue, we have the rear side of the legs, 12 tall, 8 wide. The rear side of the body, 12 tall, 8 wide. And the rear side of each arm, 12 tall, 4 wide. We have the shoulders here, which is 16 wide, 4 deep. And that is everything. So with that said, let me get my arm back and we're going to start building the head. So the main materials you're going to need for the head, so let me get rid of all this stuff off my hotbar. You are going to need some extra materials, but the main ones you're going to need for now is white stained clay, a light grey stained clay, quartz, cyan wool, blue wool, and then our lime stained clay, and our 2 woods, the spruce and dark oak. So that's pretty much the main materials you're going to need. You're going to need your cyan and your grey as well as your black later on. But for now, these are the main ones we're going to need. So we're going to start off at the front side. And we're going to go to the left corner. From here, we're going to count 5 blocks to the right. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And on the 5th block, which should be this red wall, we're going to place a white stained clay and bring it 2 forwards using light grey stained clay. We're going to do the exact same on the right side now. So we come over to the right side. We go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and on the 5th block, which should be again this red wall here, we're going to place 1 white stained clay and bring it 2 forwards using light grey stained clay. So essentially there should be a 6 block gap in between. On the first row we're going to place 6 white stained clay in between, and on the second row we're going to place 2 light grey, 2 white and 2 light grey. If you've done it correctly, it should be an 8x2 overhang, as you can see right here. What we're going to do next is come around to the side and we're going to expand it backwards 5 blocks, of which 3 of them will be white stained clay, and then 2 rows of spruce planks. Again on the other side, 3 white stained clay, 2 spruce planks, and we join them together by placing 6 spruce planks in the middle. And there will be a few adjustments we're going to make later on, but the majority of it is of course spruce planks. And if you come below again, you'll notice it's an 8x2 overhang, but most importantly is the fact that it is in fact an 8x8 square, and this is the template we're going to be using for the head. So front side, left side, right side, rear side, and of course we're going to start on the front side, aka the face. So each surface of the head is an 8x8 square. However, there are some 3D details, we'll talk about that later on. So the first layer of the face is 3 light grey stained clay, 2 white stained clay, and 3 light grey. The second layer is 1 white stained clay, 1 light grey, 1 white, 2 light grey, white, light grey, white. So the light grey represents like stubble on his face. And then, of course, the white stained clay is his skin tone. The third layer is 8 white stained clay. The fourth layer is 1 white stained clay, 1 quartz, 1 blue wool, 2 white stained clay, blue wool, quartz, white stained clay. The next layer is 1 lime wool, 1 quartz, 1 cyan wool, 2 white stained clay, 1 cyan, 1 quartz, 1 white stained clay. Now this is the front part of his hair, so it dips down a bit on the left side. One thing you could also do, if you wanted to, is play around with the eye colour. So in this case, I've got cyan at the top and blue at the bottom. You could have cyan at the bottom, blue at the top. Either one looks alright. However, don't have it looking like this, because he looks cross-eyed now and he looks really derpy with multi-random coloured eyes. So if you're going to keep it blue at the top, cyan at bottom, keep it on both. Alternatively, like I've had, cyan on top, blue on bottom. Again, it doesn't really matter too much. The next layer on top of this, so this will be the 6th layer, is 1 lime wool, 2 dark oak, 2 white stained clay, 2 dark oak, and 1 white stained clay. And then the final 2 layers, this is where we're going to need our cyan stained clay, is 2 layers of cyan stained clay. So each layer being 8 wide, and once you've done that, that is your 8x8 square complete, and it will look like this. So just to give you a rundown of what has happened, we've got 6 layers of his face, which includes his eyes, a tiny bit of his hair, and then 2 layers, which is the grey cap that he sometimes wears in his videos. He wears that little grey cap on top of his head, of course. Where else would he wear it? So what we're going to do now is add his little like 3D part of hair at the front. So we come to the top left corner here. We go down 2 blocks to this lime wool, and we're going to place 1 lime wool on top. So it's a 3D effect. We're placing it on top, not into on top. We're then going to go up 1 to right 1. We go 2 to right using lime stained clay, 2 to right using lime wool, and 1 to right using lime stained clay, and that is the first layer. The second layer, we're going to leave a 1 block gap, place 1 lime stained clay, 3 lime wool, and 1 lime stained clay, and it will look like this. And that's his little bit of green hair that he has at the front. The majority of his hair is in fact brown, but he has the front like fringe part dyed green, and a luminous kind of green. So that's what that represents, and of course again the grey and cyan represents his hat. So that is the front side of the face complete. That is an 8x8 square. If you want to pause, you are more than welcome to do so, and of course the 3D effect is on top, not into. Now what we're going to do is come around to the left side of the head and start working on that. So currently it should look like this. What we're going to do is start off on the left side on the first layer and make a few changes. So the first block on the left is dark oak, second is spruce, third is spruce, then we have 3 white stained clay and 2 light grey. Now it should currently look like this. It's going to be an 8x8 square, so from here to here is going to be 8x8. We're not including this part here because that's a 3D effect on the front side. So essentially we're going to go layer to layer, left to right, and that's how we're going to do the side. So again, the first layer is 1 dark oak, 2 spruce, 3 white stained clay, and then 2 light grey. The second layer is 1 spruce, 1 dark oak, 2 spruce, 1 white stained clay, and 2 light grey. Now again, the light grey represents his stubble, the white is his skin, and then the brown and, or should I say the dark oak and the spruce is his hair. So the next layer is 2 spruce, 2 dark oak, 1 white stained clay, 1 light grey stained clay, and 1 dark oak. For the next layer, the fourth layer, is 1 spruce, 2 dark oak, spruce, dark oak, 1 light grey stained clay, and 1 spruce. That's the fourth layer. The fifth layer is 1 spruce, 1 dark oak, 3 spruce, 1 dark oak, 1 spruce. The next layer is 3 spruce, 1 dark oak, 2 spruce, and 1 lime. So that's the sixth layer. And the final 2 layers, you're going to need your cyan and your grey wool. So cyan stained clay and grey wool. The first layer is 2 cyan, 1 grey, 4 cyan. And the second layer is grey wool, 2 cyan, grey wool, 2 cyan, and 1 grey wool. And once you've done that, it looks something like this. Now that is the left side of the head complete. The right side has a few differences, so I wouldn't skip ahead quite yet and do that. But this is the left side. Again, from that block there to that block there is 8 by 8. If you want to pause, you are more than welcome to do so. Now we will be adding a headset on, or I will be adding a headset on. Whether you do or not is your choice. Again, feel free to customize it if you want. So coming around to the right side now, we're now going to work on the right side of the head. Then we'll work around to the rear, top, and then finish things off. So the first layer from left to right is 2 light grey, 3 white stained clay, 1 dark oak, so we're going to need our wood on our hotbar, and then 2 spruce. So again, just to repeat that, 2 light grey, 3 white, 1 dark oak, 2 spruce. The second layer is 2 light grey, 1 white stained clay, and 4 spruce. Let me put the wood and these closer together, that would probably make more sense. Okay, there we go. So the third layer is 1 dark oak, 1 light grey, 1 white, 1 dark oak, 1 spruce, 2 dark oak. So that's the third layer. The fourth layer is 1 spruce, 1 light grey, 2 spruce, 1 dark oak, 2 spruce. The next layer is 1 spruce, 1 dark oak, 1 spruce, 2 dark oak, 2 spruce. The next layer is 2 lime, 1 dark oak, 2 spruce, 2 dark oak. Now, one thing you can do is from this lime here, this 1 spruce underneath, you can translate that into lime. And the reason why I've done that is because the logic is this is his hat here. Now, he's going to have a tiny bit of the green highlight sticking out the side of the hat, but the majority, again, is on his fringe. But this is just a little side detail. You can get rid of that if you want. I just thought logically it would make a bit of sense to have a tiny bit of green on the sides, so that's why that's there. So the final 2 layers, of course, is going to be using our cyan and grey wool again. So the first layer is 4 cyan, 1 grey, 2 cyan, and the second layer and final layer is 1 grey, 2 cyan, grey, 2 cyan, grey. And that is again an 8 by 8 square, looks like this. And if you want to pause, you are more than welcome to. Again, this block here is open for interpretation. You could change that to spruce if you wanted to. So, we're going to come around to the rear side of the head now. Starting off with the underneath part, we've got this area here. We're going to start off on the inside row. We're going to punch out the second and third, and then the 7th block, and replace each one of them with dark oak. So that's 3 in total. And then the outer row, we're going to replace the 2nd, 5th, and 7th block, again with dark oak, and that is 3 in total. So it'll look like this, and then from the rear side, it will look like a U shape. Now again, this is an 8 by 8 square, however row here equals 2, so we're only placing 6 blocks on each row, and the first one of course is spruce, dark oak, 2 spruce, dark oak, spruce, 2 dark oak. So we're only placing 7 more rows. So the second row is 1 spruce, 1 dark oak, 2 spruce, 2 dark oak. The third layer is 3 spruce, 1 dark oak, 2 spruce. The next layer is 3 dark oak, 2 spruce, 1 dark oak. The next layer is 2 spruce, 2 dark oak, 1 spruce, 1 dark oak. The next layer is 1 dark oak and 5 spruce. And then the final 2 layers again is the hat layer. So the first one is 1 grey, 4 cyan, 1 grey. And the last but not least layer is 2 cyan, 2 grey, 2 cyan. And that is the rear side of the head complete. Again, an 8 by 8 square. Our final side is of course the top side. We're going to come to the front side of it. So we're looking at where we can see the lime wall here and then the top here. What we're going to do is start off by replacing a few blocks, and then we'll add the details and then fill in the bulk afterwards. So the first thing we're going to do is come to this first line of cyan stained clay right here next to the lime. On the second 4th, 5th, and 7th block, we're going to replace it with grey wool, and it will look like this. We now have an established border. On the bottom left corner, from this grey wool here, we're going to go 2 to the right, and on the right side we go 2 to the left, and it will make a shape that looks like this. For the top left corner, we're going to place a right angle shape like this, and same with the right corner, we're going to do the mirrored effect. And then what we're going to do is on either side have one going diagonal inwards, like so. So it will look like this. Then what we go ahead and do is fill the rest of the area in using cyan stained clay, and once you've filled it in completely, that is the top of your hat complete, and it will look like this. Now again, the grey and cyan area is 8x8, and the green part is a 3D effect. So, this is where we finish off the tutorial if you're not building the headset. If you want to build a copy without the headset, this is what it will look like. It looks, you can still identify it's him, but I think the headset again is kind of like a signature piece. So, one thing to do as well, if you're not building a headset, potentially I'd suggest putting like 2 grey wool there. Otherwise you have an empty area where the strip of the headband is going to go. If you're not building it, don't worry. I mean, if you are building it, don't worry, because it will be covered up. So, for people who are building the headset, you're going to need black wool and lime wool. We're going to go around to the left side of the head first, and then we're going to go up to the top right corner. We're going to go 1, 2, and on the 3rd and 4th block we're going to place 2 black wool. We're then going to place a 2x2 of black wool underneath that, and go down diagonal to left, right, down 1, and then link together by placing 2 black wool in the middle, and it will give you a shape that looks like this. So essentially it's a 3x2 of black wool, with a 2x1 on either side connected by a 2x1 at the bottom. Again, where it's positioned is the 5th and 6th block in terms of from the left, and the 3rd and 4th in terms of the right. Now in this 2x2 gap in the middle, you can go ahead and wax some green wool, or some lime wool, should I say, and it will look like this. We're now going to go around to the right side and replicate this. So, coming around to the right side, we go to the top left corner, we go to the 3rd and 4th block, place 2 black wool, and place a 2x2 underneath. From here, we go down diagonal to left, down 1, down diagonal to right 1, up diagonal, up 1. And again, it will make your headphone shape. And then in the middle part, we place a 2x2 of lime wool, and it will look like this. Again, positioning 2 blocks gap on the left side and 4 block gap on the right side. Let me just get my sign because I shouldn't have broke that. There we go. So it will look like this. For the headband that links it all together, we're going to come to the top side of the build, and we're going to place an 8x2 3D effect of black wool on top of our hat. So it's a big strip of 8x2 of black wool that goes again on top. And once you've done that, it will look like this from the front. You can see it really just adds a bit of detail to it. From the left side, it looks like this. And then from the right, it looks like this. So, once you've done that, that is the tutorial complete. I really do hope you enjoyed this. Again, a lot of effort went into the design. I spent lots of time improving it, adding onto it, and ultimately, I hope making it better. But again, that's down to you to judge, so let me know down in the comments below. Again, a like is appreciated if you did enjoy, and also criticism, constructive criticism, again, is always appreciated, as well as a nice comment. I do like a nice comment once in a while. With that said, I'm going to do a little spin around of the head. Each side is 8x8x8, so 8x8 each side, 8x8x8 in total, and then of course the 3D effects aren't included by that, but you can factor them in nevertheless. So with that said, again, I'm going to spend like a minute plugging my channels that I work on while spinning. So I'm going to be uploading again 3 times a week on this channel, so if you haven't already, definitely consider subscribing. That is on the Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday, if I'm not mistaken. On my second channel, I have got IRL videos such as pop vinyl unboxings, reviews, that kind of jazz, as well as FNAF World tutorials and Minecraft Story Mode character tutorials. And that, if I'm not mistaken, is on the Wednesday, Thursday and Sunday. So essentially, 6 days a week I'm going to be uploading. I don't upload on Mondays. To top it off, I'm going to be uploading a plushie tutorial on the Frosted Network channel every single Tuesday. I was about to say Sunday there. Every single Tuesday. And it's going to be, this week, the Sans plushie from Undertale. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, let me know, and by checking out the video and leaving a rating over there. With that said, I'll also leave a link in the description to a random tutorial. So if you don't know what you want to build, you just want to build something cool, then there'll be a link to a random tutorial in the description. And definitely check that out. And finally, last but not least, links to all my playlists as well down in the description. apart from that, plug over. I've just said a million things and hit my microphone. So I'm going to end off the video here. Thank you very much for watching. Until next time, my name has been Tom Gummy, and goodbye. Eyes in the sky, gazing far into the night. I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through?